Quick question. When people say AI, do they mean chatbots, predictions, image recognition, or all of the above? If you're starting your AI journey, that confusion is normal. And that's exactly why the Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals exam exists, to help you understand what AI can do, when to use it, and how Azure delivers it, without needing a deep technical background. In this video, we'll walk through practice questions that reflect how Microsoft expects you to think about AI concepts, workloads, and responsible AI principles within Microsoft Azure. Let's break AI down to what actually matters. Question number 1. You need to compare the costs of large language models, LLMs, for a generative AI solution. What should you use in the Microsoft Foundry portal? A. Evaluator catalog. B. Model leaderboard. C. Compliance. D. Tools. Correct answer, B. Model leaderboard explanation. To compare the costs of large language models in the Microsoft Foundry portal, use the model leaderboard. Microsoft documentation states that the model leaderboard helps compare models across quality, safety, estimated cost, and throughput. It also supports trade-off charts and side-by-side model comparison for features, performance, and estimated cost. Why the other options are incorrect. An evaluator catalog is for selecting evaluators to measure model or application outputs, not comparing LLM costs. C. Compliance relates to governance and compliance, not model cost comparison. D. Tools provide Foundry tools, not benchmarked cost comparison across models. Question number 2. You are developing an AI-powered customer support application. Which task is an example of the Microsoft Responsible AI principle of inclusiveness? A. Provide explanations about how predictions are generated. B. Design the interface to support multiple languages and screen readers. C. Evaluate model outputs across demographic groups to reduce bias. D. Encrypt stored customer data and restrict access by using role-based controls. Correct answer. B. Design the interface to support multiple languages and screen readers. Explanation. The Microsoft Responsible AI principle of inclusiveness means AI systems should be designed to empower and engage everyone, including people with different abilities, languages, and accessibility needs. Therefore, designing the interface to support multiple languages and screen readers is an example of inclusiveness. Why the other options are incorrect. A. Provide explanations about how predictions are generated equals transparency. C. Evaluate model outputs across demographic groups to reduce bias equals fairness. D. Encrypt stored customer data and restrict access by using role-based controls equals privacy and security. Question number 3. You need to convert written customer notifications into natural-sounding spoken audio that can be played over a phone system. Which Azure Speech and Foundry Tools capability should you use? A. Speaker recognition. B. Speech synthesis. C. Speech recognition. D. Speech translation. Correct answer. B. Speech synthesis. Explanation. The requirement is to convert written customer notifications into natural-sounding spoken audio. This is speech synthesis, also known as text-to-speech. Microsoft's Azure Speech documentation describes text-to-speech as a capability that converts text into natural-sounding synthesized speech. Therefore, for playing written notifications over a phone system, the correct Azure Speech capability is speech synthesis. Why the other options are incorrect. A. Speaker recognition identifies or verifies speakers by voice. C. Speech recognition converts spoken audio into text. D. Speech translation translates spoken audio between languages. Question number 4. Based on the image provided, here's the transcribed text. You need to build an AI solution that produces new product images based on written descriptions provided by users. Which AI workload should you use? A. Image generation. B. Image analysis. C. Object detection. D. Optical character recognition. O. CR. Correct answer. A. Image generation. Explanation. The requirement is to produce new product images based on written descriptions. This is an image generation workload because the AI system is creating entirely new images from natural language prompts. Why the other options are incorrect. B. Image analysis is used to examine and interpret existing images. C. Object detection is used to identify and locate objects within an existing image. D. Optical character recognition, OCR, is used to extract text from images or scan documents. Since the solution must generate new visual content from user-provided descriptions, the correct answer is A. Image generation. Question number 5. Your company processes customer support emails. You need to implement an AI solution that automatically identifies mentions of people, organizations, and locations in the emails. Which text analysis technique should you use? A. Sentiment analysis. B. Named entity recognition, NER. C. Summarization. D. Key phrase, extraction. Correct answer, B. Named entity recognition, NER. Explanation. The correct text analysis technique is named entity recognition, NER. Microsoft defines NER as a feature that identifies and categorizes entities in unstructured text, including people, places, and organizations. Sentiment analysis detects positive, negative, or neutral opinions. Summarization creates shorter versions of text. Key phrase extraction identifies important phrases, but it does not specifically classify mentions as people, organizations, or locations. Question number 6. You have a Microsoft Foundry project that contains an agent named Agent 1. You need to ensure that Agent 1 always calls an Azure function when the agent responds to user input. To what should you set tool_choice for Agent 1? A. Auto B, none C, required D, above. Correct answer. C. Required explanation. Microsoft's Foundry. Agent service documentation states that tool_choice provides deterministic control over tool calling. Auto means the model decides whether to call tools. Required means the model must call one or more tools. None means the model does not call tools. Therefore, A. Auto equals incorrect, because the model may or may not call the Azure function. B. None equals incorrect, because this prevents tool/function calls. C. Required equals correct, because it forces the agent to call a tool. The Azure OpenAI function calling documentation also confirms that tool_choice equals auto, lets the model decides whether to call a function, while tool_choice equals none forces a user-facing response without a tool call. Question number 7. You are developing an application that analyzes voicemail recordings by using Azure Content Understanding and Foundry tools. You need to extract a transcript and structured information from the recordings. Which type of analyzer should you use? A. Document analyzer. B. Video analyzer. C. Audio analyzer. D. Image analyzer. Correct answer. C. Audio analyzer. Explanation: voicemail recordings are audio content. Azure content. Understanding analyzers define what type of content to process, including documents, images, audio, or video, and what elements to extract, including transcripts and structured fields. Microsoft's custom analyzer documentation also shows an audio example based on pre-built audio for processing customer support call recordings, which is the same content type as voicemail recordings. Therefore, to extract a transcript and structured information from voicemail recordings, you should use an audio analyzer. Question number 8. Which Azure service is mainly used to build, train, and deploy machine learning models? A. Azure Blob Storage. B. Azure Machine Learning. C. Azure Virtual Machines. D. Azure Logic Apps. Correct answer. B. Azure Machine Learning. Explanation: Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals, AI-900, focuses on understanding Azure AI services. Azure Machine Learning is specifically designed for creating, training, managing, and deploying machine learning models in the cloud. Blob storage equals stores files/data. Virtual machines equals provide computing resources. Logic apps equals automate workflows. Question number 9. What is the primary purpose of natural language processing, NLP? A. Detect objects in images. B. Analyze and understand human language. C. Create virtual machines. D. Monitor network traffic. Correct answer. B. Analyze and understand human language. Explanation: natural language. Processing helps computers understand, interpret, and generate human language. Examples include chatbots, translation services, sentiment analysis, speech recognition. Azure services like Azure AI Language support NLP tasks. Question number 10. Which type of AI workload converts spoken audio into text? A. Computer vision. B. Regression. C. Speech recognition. D. Clustering. Correct answer C. Speech recognition. Explanation. Speech recognition allows AI systems to convert spoken words into written text. Common uses: voice assistants, call transcription, voice commands. Azure AI Speech provides speech-to-text and text-to-speech capabilities in Azure. Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals is about confidence, not code. Practicing questions like these helps you speak clearly about AI concepts, understand when AI adds value, and when it doesn't, build a strong foundation for future Azure or AI certifications. If you want more practice questions that match the real exam style, check the link in the description for additional resources available on CertBoosters. Subscribe to the channel for more cloud and AI certification practice sessions. Thanks for watching. And remember, understanding AI starts with asking the right questions, not writing the first line of code.